friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Mary and I'm so happy to have you here for today's video where I'm going to be talking about how to have a soft life in your 30s. Whenever the whole topic of soft life started trending, I don't know, like a month or two ago, I'm like, what is this, right? And it's so silly. It seems so simple because whenever I saw it, I thought like plush pillows and satin bathrobes. And it can be that, sure. But a soft life is essentially just the opposite of a hard life. And I feel like life can be so hard sometimes, but there's things that we can do in our 30s to try to alleviate some of it, prevent some of the badness that might be lurking around the corner for us, so life doesn't have to be that hard. So today I'm going to give you a few tips on things that you can do in your 30s, things that you should probably do in your 30s to try to soften life up a bit, just a bit. Fuzzy pillows and satin bathrobes are a good start, but we're not going to be talking about those things today. We're going to be talking about more like grown up things because y'all, we're in our 30s. Okay, or maybe you're in your 20s and you're watching this because you want to see what to expect in your 30s. You can do this stuff now. I'm just saying that if you're in your 30s, it's probably a good time to start looking at these things to make life a little softer. The first thing that I want you to do, and this is not very sexy or fun, although I think it's super fun, I want you to look at your finances. Okay, there are a lot of articles, videos, news clips out about the financial future for millennials, and it is super doom and gloom. And so I think that there are a lot of macro, big economic factors that maybe aren't within our control as much as we would like them to be, but the micro, smaller economic factors, what we're doing with our personal finances are the one thing that we do have some control over. So trying to really get a handle of our own finances. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't buy avocado toast in Starbucks because that's not going to save us and prevent us from, working until we're in our 80s before we can retire. But what I am going to recommend is that you take a look at your finances. Just take a look at them. So many of us don't even pay attention. I know people who have not looked at their credit card charges in years. They just swipe it and they trust when they're paying their bill, whether it's the minimum or the maximum every single month, that they're paying the right amount. I have a lot of friends who do not have a budget. They kind of have a rough budget where they go, okay, I know I get $3,000 a month and my rent is $1,500 and my car payment is $500 and my phone bill is $100 and my car insurance is $100, and so I've got $800 left for everything else. Right? And they just kind of go for that. In some months they go over and they charge stuff on the credit card and it rolls over to the next month. And sometimes they break even because a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes they go a little under and then they have money to decide what to do with. Not a lot of people have a budget that they're tracking to every single month. And this is such a powerful thing to do because knowledge is power, right? How are you going to really get a grasp on your finances, get a handle on your finances if you don't truly know what they look like? So I want you to kind of take an inventory and see what your expenses are every month. What are your fixed expenses? What are your variable expenses? So your fixed expenses, you may have a rent payment, or you may have a mortgage payment, a car payment, car insurance, phone bill. These are things that pretty much stay the same, right? Pretty much. Your rent may go up a year from now, or your property taxes may go up on your mortgage, but for the most part, these are fixed expenses that you can probably plan out for the rest of the year. Then you have your variable expenses, which are your electricity, your water, your food sometimes. These are variable expenses where you kind of have a range of what you should be able to expect, but it's not a finite amount every single month. There's kind of a range there. So I want you to figure out what those expenses are and then what, if any, you have left over. And if you don't have any money left over, if you're working paycheck to paycheck and that's it, I want you to really look at, is there any room to cut back some? Maybe you bump up the thermostat a little bit to try to save on utilities, or maybe you're shopping at Whole Foods every single week and instead you could shop at Grocery Bargain Outlet Market like I do and save a bunch of money and still get really high quality products. Little suggestions. I'll do a whole other video if you guys are interested on ways to save money, money saving tips. But basically, I want you to take a really good look at your budget and see what your expenses are every month as compared to your income. And depending on how things are, maybe you have a little extra money and you're able to put a little more onto a high interest rate credit card that you really should be paying off, right? So take a look at your expenses. If you guys want me to do a video that's like specific on finances and expenses and how to maybe get ahead a little bit if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I'm happy to do that. But really, for the purposes of this video, I just want you to know what your finances are. Money can be such a stressful thing. And if you are someone who lives closer to the paycheck to paycheck life, then an unexpected expense can be devastating and can make life really hard. And we're all about creating a soft, amazing, wonderful life. So by getting the knowledge of your finances figured out and at least having that information, even if it's not good information, at least having that information and knowing that and knowing what your next steps can be is really, really important and a very important part of creating a soft life in your 30s. Another thing that can be kind of tough to do is I want you to take a look at the friendships that are in your life. There was a point in my life, and I think it may have been more so when I was in my 20s than when I was in my 30s, because I'm 36 now, where I had to take a look at my friendships and realize that some of them were no longer serving me. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I don't mean that you should be getting something out of every person in your life. But if every person in your life is getting something out of you and not giving anything in return, it's time to reevaluate some of the friendships that are in your life. I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. And I had friends when I was younger who their lives were just not going in the direction that I wanted mine to go. Maybe they were using drugs. Maybe they were just really unmotivated in life and they would work and come home and just sit and watch reality TV for 6 hours before bed, you know? And if that's what makes you happy, if that gives you a happy and fulfilling life, then surround yourself with people like that. Like, go for it, right? But I was someone who was like working and going to school and having side hustles and building my wealth and, you know, buying properties and doing professional development courses and like doing all this stuff. And so I wanted to surround myself with people who would motivate and inspire me and vice versa, so that we're both getting something out of the relationship, right? And it can be easy, especially when you're like a very energetic person, when you're a very magnetic person, when you're a very likable person. I'm not saying I'm these things. I'm saying maybe you guys are. It can be really easy to have people drawn to you and people want to be around you and want to spend time with you. But there are not enough hours in the day to give to every single person who wants something from you. So at a certain point, you have to start prioritizing. And I am someone who likes to keep my circle small. Okay, I know that sounds kind of cliche. I do keep my circle small, where I have a lot of acquaintances. I have a lot of awesome, fun and amazing people in my life. But when it comes to the people that I dedicate time to, because time is a resource, and it's a resource that I feel like as life goes on and you have work and you have school and you have kids and you have all these other responsibilities, okay, time is a resource that you have less of. So you have to prioritize who you give it to. Now, I'm not saying cut off all your high school friends, cut off all your college friends, dump them in the trash and move on with your life. I'm just saying to take a look at the friendships that are in your life and see if they're serving you. See if these friendships are in alignment with the direction that you want your life to go. Or are these friendships making you hard? Do you have a friend, you know, from high school, from 20 years ago, who they only hit you up whenever they got into a fight with their boyfriend and they need a place to crash for the night, right? Okay, cool. Is that friendship really serving you? Or is it just someone who enters your life every couple of months with some drama and then disappears again, never asks how your day was, never asks how your life is, only hits you up when they need something, right? So just take a look at the friendships that are in your life and see, are those friendships making your life harder, or are those friendships making your life softer? A really quick and easy way to make your life a little bit softer is with the 5-minute rule. There are other channels that call this the 2-minute rule or the 3-minute rule. I say the 5-minute rule, where if there is something in your home or in your life that needs to get done, and that thing will only take 5 minutes or less, just do it. Because those little things add up so much and can create so much stress. And then like what I used to do is all these little 5-minute taskers, meaning like washing my dishes from breakfast, or I come home from work and I have the blazer I wore and I throw the blazer on the clothes chair, you know, the clothes chair, the laundry chair, and I just toss it on the laundry chair, right? This little random bill that I need to log online and pay, like all these little things, these 5-minute taskers, I didn't want to do them during the week. When I came home from work, I wanted to just kick my shoes off and grab a snack and sit on the couch and just decompress. I didn't want to have to do those things. And I would let them pile up and pile up and pile up to where my weekend was mostly comprised of all these stupid little 5-minute tasks that I could have knocked out during the week as they popped up into my life. And it also kind of puts this pressure on you, puts this stress on you when there are these things lingering that you know need to be done. So for my own mental health and well-being and time management, over the last couple years, I've started just doing them. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect and I just always do them. Like as soon as I finish drinking my coffee, I wash my cup. No, sometimes it sits there. Sometimes it sits there for a day, you know? But I have gotten so much better about just knocking out these little tasks as they arise, because otherwise I know that they pile up and they pile up and they pile up and they create so much stress, so much more work for me to have to do on the weekends. And it just makes my life a lot easier. So I'd like for you to try doing it. If you just don't have time to knock out 5-minute tasks, maybe you can treat it as a 2-minute task. So maybe you could hang up the blazer and put it in the closet. You could do that in under 2 minutes, right? Maybe you wash the coffee cup, but not the entire breakfast dishes. We'll get to those later. So I want you to figure out what works for you, but then just consistently do it so that you are knocking out these little things during the week so you don't have so much stuff piling up on you. It'll help keep your life cleaner and more organized. It'll also help with kind of dealing with the procrastination that so many of us are guilty of with regard to paying the little bills or making the phone call or scheduling the appointment. Like just take a couple minutes and knock those things out as you think of them or as you have time for them so that they're not weighing on you, because those are the things that can make life just a lot more difficult. And then finally, I'm not a doctor. Always seek medical advice before doing any of the things. Take a multivitamin. I know this sounds silly and you guys are like, okay, this has nothing to do with the soft life. This totally does, okay? A lot of us are eating diets that are like processed foods, little nutritional value. We're rush, busy, grabbing Del Taco on the way home. And we're missing out on a lot of the vitamins and minerals that our bodies need to be healthy. This is about living a soft life, a life that is not hard. Okay? And if you are low on certain vitamins and minerals, you are going to be tired. You are going to be anemic. You are not going to have energy. These are also things that can have serious implications on your health over time. So something as simple as a vitamin D deficiency or an iron deficiency, these are things that can really, really impact your health over time, catastrophically. Okay? So something as simple as finding a quality, easily digestible vitamin, like my vitamin has probiotics in it, so I'm getting a little 2-for-1. The one that I use is a food-based, it's like a raw, whole food, organic-based multivitamin. It's a little more expensive, but I've never gotten sick taking it, and it is also more easily digested and processed by my body than some of the other ones. So find what works for your budget, find what works for your body. It's such a simple thing to do, and it can prevent a lot of bigger problems down the road. And it'll also make you just feel so much better and give you the energy that you need to be able to do all the things in your amazing, wonderful, soft, cushy life with the fuzzy pillows and the satin robes. If you liked this video and you would like more topics on soft living or finances or multivitamins, I don't know, maybe I'll do a video on all the supplements that I take to stay looking and feeling my best. Drop a comment below. Let me know what topics you would like to hear from me here on this channel. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you subscribed and stuck around, because I am posting more on this channel now at least one time a week for health, wellness, and lifestyle. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, friends.